Hi everybody! Okay, so I'm trying to get past the weirdness of talking to myself. Let me know if my audio is okay or my video is weird or whatever. Just let me know if anything is weird or whatever. And hello everybody in chat. I'm so excited you're here. This is really nice. Now I don't feel as alone. So today I am going to be talking about this really cool Reaper Miniatures Learn to Paint kit that I ordered. And since I did get to visit their factory a few weeks ago, I brought some stuff from it just to show it. This is their cool little bag. I thought they were cool. I got a few things to try. I wanted to find a miniature that like was kind of random but also cool, because like if you go to their factory, first of all you walk in and it is just like a room full of miniatures, like your normal average game store, and they have their Bones miniatures just covering the walls. It's amazing. There's so many. I got the female Oni, so she's like a demon lady. I don't know how to get this looking better, but anyway, this is really cool. I'm really excited. But then if you go like slightly in the back of it, there is just this giant like factory of all of their machinery for making their miniatures, the metal cast miniatures they make in factory. And I believe they told me that they have the plastic ones shipped from some other factory, but regardless, they're still really cool. So, but anyway, in the back in the factory there was just tables and tables full of people playing D&D or whatever. I'm sure they were playing multiple games, but it was just so cool. It was full of people playing, and then they had things you could try out, or you know, if you wanted to try painting minis, they had some like stuff set out. And then I asked them if they did tours, and apparently the best time to go for a tour, if you're planning on going, is a weekday, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe a weekday. And they said, okay, well, it's a Saturday, or I went on a Sunday. They said, okay, it's a weekend, but we don't have our main tours or whatever, but we can just take you and show you through really quickly. And so the guy that was there, he took me through, and took me through the back, and he showed me all of the machinery that they use to make them or whatever, and then he showed me the molds, and it looks like a room full of like film, like circular like film, like old reels, and all of the molds are set, it's like a circle, and then there's like mold around it, and that's how they cast them. So they showed me where they cast, and I've gotten to do like a little bit of that before. I think bronze casting I did in one of my like college metalsmithing classes. So it was really cool to see like their actual machinery, the way they do it. And then he showed me the painting area, which it turns out, I believe he said, they are the only factory or miniature producers that make all of their own paint, mix it all in-house, which was really cool to me, being, you know, into paint and art and things. So they showed me like the mixing stations and the bottling stations. And he said, this was so cool to me, they use dialysis machines to do something with their paint. I think it's part of the bottling or something. But it was really cool to see all of the like factory machinery. Anyway, so if you ever get a chance, it's located in Denton, Texas, which is like maybe an hour from Dallas, Texas. I went to college in Denton, North Texas University, and never knew this was located there. I don't know how, because it would have been something I would have loved to have known being there. I could have like joined such a cool community and gone and played D&D all the time in this amazing factory. I'm serious, it was like Disney World, if you're into miniatures. Anyway, so I have this. Also some things I got there, which Not anything like super special, but I've always wanted to try it. I got some of the little grass tufts that you can put on miniatures. I wanted to try something a little bit more realistic because the majority of my miniatures are just like, let me find one. I mean, I think I've shown this one. It's a little elf lady. Maybe. But yeah, I don't do a lot of 3D stuff, so I wanted to try something a little different. So I got that as well as like the grass that you just like put on there before you put the tufts, so it'll give it a little bit more depth, especially for the ones that I'm doing with this kit and then with this one. I'm thinking about, like, I know I mentioned working on what is it called? I forget what he actually calls it, but it's Michael Mordor's paint contest, I guess, Reaper Miniatures paint contest. And I know I'm not going to win or anything, like, not now at least, but I think it would be cool to enter and you know, just keep entering every month, because I think that's great practice for trying out new miniature stuff. And that's what this whole channel is going to be. It's really just me learning these techniques and talking about them, so if anyone else out there is wanting to learn, they can maybe watch this and see as I go, because as I learn techniques, I want to talk about those. So I also got, when I was there, the Master Series brush-on sealer, which I've been looking for something to make them more matte rather than glossy, because I have a glossy primer. I mean, not primer, whatever. I have a glossy spray that I put on them when they are finished, which I think is kind of cool because it reminds me more of like action figures and actual toys, and it's cool to paint your own action figure. And then I spray it with a clear spray. But it seems like the industry standard is to do more of a matte coating. So I asked him what the best process for that would be, and instead of getting, I forget what they call it, it's some sort of matte paint, instead of getting that and putting it on there, he told me that the brush-on sealer, you use it with a little bit of water. He said to work with that ratio, so I'm gonna have to figure out like the best ratio for this and that, and then you put that on there and it gives it more like a matte coating. So that's my plan. And then I ordered some 30mm bases. I know that's not like specifically standard for tabletop gaming, but I like this size better because I want to put like, well, I'll probably put her on one if she'll fit. I don't know if she'll fit on the 30mm, but I'll try it. But then I want to put all my other ones on there. This one was funny to me because it was actually a female dwarf. I think barbarian, I don't remember. It's a WizKids. I do a lot of the WizKids because that's what my local gaming store has. And sometimes it's fun to just go in there and pick out a few. Or 30, you know, like I do. But this was a female dwarf at first. I think she had like pigtails. It won't focus. But I decided I wanted it to be a male because I had a specific character that I was using for one of my games. And I liked this weapon more and I liked the horns more. But my character was like a big bearded dwarf. So I gave him or her a beard with some glue. I used Gorilla Glue, which kind of expands a little bit, and then I painted it. This is really not focusing. I'm so sorry. I'm just talking about nothing. Anyway, so let's talk about, wait, does anyone have any questions? I can't keep up with this. Hold on. So HQ is, if that's what you're asking me, Castle Mac, it is in Denton, Texas. I'm like way behind on these chats. They also had, I don't know if they had a specific D&D room. It was more like people were playing just at tables like in the warehouse, which was, it just looks really cool. But they also had, which I forgot to mention, they called it a gallery or a museum or something, but it's just cases and cases full of the most beautifully painted miniatures I have ever seen in my life. And I took video of it, but it was on my iPhone and it wasn't very good, and I was talking in the background, so okay, let me see. Matte coat, then gloss. Okay. Just armor and metal weapons. Thank you. So you guys like glossy, okay, and then go over with a dull coat. I like that. Flock, yes. Okay, so I don't think there was any specific questions. Cool. So now I'm gonna talk about the Learn to Paint kit, which I know a couple people have told me that they just ordered it or they're going to order it. And I apologize for this. I can't get it to like not be in this shot, so for now it's just gonna be there and annoy me, but okay. Anyway, so I know a couple people told me that they were ordering this or had ordered it or whatever. Ooh, kind of got all messed up. But anyway, here's what comes in the Reaper Miniatures Starter Kit. There's this, which, who knows, this is probably like expired, I don't know. It's about the Maldrakar Dragon Tyrant Heroic Scale Dragon Model brochure, I don't know. And then there's this, which is the instruction booklet. This is really helpful. I did look through this a little bit to make sure I had everything I needed for this, because I do want to try and paint through at least one of them. Because there's 3 in here, and I don't know, maybe I'll do like a couple of these. I don't want to focus too much on just this, but we can talk about that. So it has all of this information on the front. So it comes with 3 miniatures, 11 of the Master Series paints, which are, I'm not positive. I think they were saying that they were going to discontinue. I don't know if it was the Master Series or the HD. It might have been the HD. But they were going to discontinue one paint because they were working on something else. They said something like that at the factory. So it comes with 3 miniatures, 11 paints, as well as 2 little brushes. So you have your dry brushing and then your detailing, I think they call it. Base coat, washing, and dry brushing, which are the 3 main things you do with a miniature. So cool. Cute little brushes. One's like more square shaped and one's more pointed round. And with the paints, you have Dragon Blue. It's a really pretty color. I like it a lot. You have Blade Steel, which I'm excited to try because, don't judge me, but the majority of metallics that I have done in my miniatures so far have been done with a gold and a silver Sharpie. Because that's what I had. And I wish I had my old paints to show you, because what I started with, my first miniatures were pretty bad. Like everyone's is, which is okay. But it was this little, I think, Pathfinder Deep Cuts elf rogue, because they don't have the Dungeons and Dragons, Nolzur's miniatures elf rogue. I guess that's like so old or whatever, I don't know. But when I got that one, I went to just Hobby Lobby and I got basic brushes, which I still use these. They're not specifically for painting miniatures. They're just crafter's brushes, but they've worked pretty good. They're getting a little frayed on the ends, which if you paint miniatures or anything small scale, you know that kind of can make it frustrating. So I'm probably going to have to replace these soon. I mean, I have these 2 new ones. They'll probably work for a bit, but yeah, I have these, and then I bought these really basic acrylics, and it was just a set of like the connected tubs of all the colors, and they're not permanent. So if I didn't spray the miniatures after I painted them, the paint would come off. It's been rough, so I'm pretty excited about these new paints. Here's some of my Dragonborns. They got a little bit of shine. I don't know. I think I'm going to try the matte, see if I like it. Anyway, back to paints. So Blade Steel, then you have Dragon White. It's supposed to focus, right? Dragon White, anyway. Candlelight Yellow, I like that. That's a really cool name. I think it's the contrast or the brightness. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh well. Candlelight Yellow. Naga Green. I painted some Nagas a few weeks ago for someone. I don't know if I really loved the way they turned out. Normally when someone lets me paint their miniatures, I do what I want to do. This one, he was like, okay, I want this color and this color and this color and this color here and this color here. And it wasn't bad color choices, it just wasn't what I would choose, so I don't know if I like those. But I don't know, I like painting miniatures for people, so I don't really care if they have preferences. Desert Sand. Mountain Stone. That's really pretty too. I really like their paints. I like the way they name them. I like their color choices. I like their, I don't know, it's cool. I think after seeing the factory, I just got really excited about them. Harvest Brown. That's really cool. And there's no telling, to be honest, how old this particular kit is. I got it on Amazon because I have Amazon Prime and I'm kind of addicted to getting things in 2 days when I get excited. It's a fault I have. But yeah, this could be, there's seriously no telling. These paints look a little bit old, but we'll make it work. This is Polished Silver. I like that. I'm excited about that. We have Pure Black, standard, cool. And then Leather Brown. And I'm gonna add my new one to the pack, and look, now it's all even. I'm really excited. Okay, so for the miniatures, this is, I'm gonna have to read them because I don't know who these people are. This is Mangu Timur. I really like this one. I'm gonna try and figure out how to get this to focus because this one's really cool. And I know they start you out painting the little skeleton guy, but I really like this one. Come on, show the people the mini. Kinda. I just really like his armor. I really like his sword, which is bent. But, this is an Orc Marauder. I like his armor too. He's got some chainmail on, which is kind of fun to paint, especially when I used to do it with Sharpies, because I would just paint the chainmail with like black or a dark gray, and then with a Sharpie you can just lightly touch it over the chainmail with like silver, and it just picks up those edges, so it looks a little bit realistic. I don't know, it's pretty cool. But I'm going to use paint now, not Sharpies. And then you have a Skeleton Archer, which I see a lot of people paint this when they get the kit, so I've seen these ones a lot. And I'm sure they sent this one because it's like pretty simple, but I don't really like it. I don't know. It feels so small. Let me think. Can someone tell me how to say Mangu Timur? I don't know how to say it, and I don't want to say it wrong. Or if anyone knows what this character is or where it's from. I don't know. So, with this kit, we have this little contents. And then it names all the paints, which is probably easier than me showing them all individually, but they're pretty nice. I really like them. I like these colors. You can do a lot with them. I wish there was a red in there, but obviously they sent paints for these specific miniatures and there's no red, but I'll make it work. Then it has some use and care of your tools info, which I already read. If anyone wants me to tell you that, I can. I don't think anyone probably wants me to sit here and read every line of this. Okay, so talks about the brushes and the paints. Shake the paint bottle for several seconds before dispensing paint. Okay, yes, good. Oh, that's funny. Once or twice a year, shake all of your paint bottles and then check the consistency of the paint in each. It's a pretty good idea. Paint is dry to the touch within minutes but takes a day or two to cure. I didn't know that. So I've actually never worked with like the fast drying permanent kind of paints, not with miniatures, so don't mess up, don't mess up. And then preparing to paint, I already read through this so I could make sure I had everything, but you need something to put water in, you need a paper towel, which I have, a plastic plate or ceramic or something to mix paint on, and then a comfortable chair and good lighting, which, sure, we got that, fine. The lighting is natural lighting. I'm sitting in front of my window and it's doing its best. Let's scoot over. So our first step, it talks about preparing to paint with your miniatures by putting them on. So here's what I have been using because I think it's fun, and I love that so many people use medicine bottles. I have other things that I've tried, but this is pretty cool. This is a little drow I've been working on. Drow lady, got a crossbow. I'm gonna make her really fancy with like a bunch of red and purple, like the old school drow. Lolth followers, Lolth. Lolth, is that how you say Lolth? Whatever, I love her. Okay, so I'm gonna clear my workspace of all this and we're gonna start painting. If anyone has anything else to ask, I'm trying to keep up with this. Thin them just a bit with water, yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm going to clear this off. I don't need this. We'll use their brushes. I'm going to use everything that's in this kit and avoid using my own things. And I'll go ahead and start with the skeleton since it's number 1. But then maybe I'll stop and do something else because I really like these two. I'm going to move that, and then I'm going to show this thing that I have because I think it's funny. I saw a couple people using these and I was like, oh cool, I can use that to see them better. And then it just looks like a torture device. It just reminds me of Clockwork Orange, that scene where his eyes are like pulled back and they're making him watch all that stuff to make him a good citizen. That's what it reminds me of. But I found one that had a little light because that was something I was kind of dealing with, which was annoying because I don't have like a really good desk lamp or something. I used to, but I moved and don't have one anymore. I don't use these arms. That was just funny to me. I don't need them. But here's I kind of show it. No, I don't know. I might just not. I'll just do it here and then hopefully it won't get in the way too much, and I'll try and show it more when I'm actually painting them. And also, I'm so sorry this is also shaking. I'm gonna have to figure out something. If anyone has any suggestions, like I have the stand for it. It's like the gooseneck one. I think I might have to change it for the one that's like more stationary because it just rocks, and then this whole scene here rocks. And I don't think that looks very good. Okay. I'm gonna open my brushes. I don't like destroying packaging. I'm really weird about that because it's like, it's so pretty. Oh well. I'll keep the back intact so I can read it if I need to. Two nice little paintbrushes. And they also sold these and others at their factory too, and there's like a painting section, and it had these and like all the things you could use. I'll put the grass tufts away, I don't need those yet. And then I have my water, and this is what I use like to paint. It's funny to me because it's such a mess. And I paint on a plate, and I just like scrub it off every time because it's usually covered. But I have that for mixing, and then I have water in a little jar and a paper towel. I'll put this off to the side. It's super important that everyone sees that, I don't think. Does that sound annoying? Like, are sounds picking up too much? Thank you. Okay. So for the skeleton, which I still don't love because it's kind of boring, but whatever. Step 1 is base coat. The base coat is the first layer of paint, and we'll use a number 2 flat brush to paint larger areas, and the 0 round brush where you need more precise. Wet palette. Oh, yes, thank you, the noob painter. I did see that on an episode of, I think, Painters Guild or something. I don't know. But I really do need to look that up. I need to try that. It looks like a really nice way to like mix paints, right? Like I don't know if it was a sponge or if it was like a paper towel with something wet under it. And then the paint will like kind of sink in, and you can mix them better from like color to color and get like a gradient. Thank you. I do need to try that. I do want to attempt to make one of those, which I think I could. What color? Where does it say? And I'm excited to learn more about washing techniques. I had done a little bit with mine, but since like I said, I had those really basic paints, I just kind of watered down like a black or a brown or whatever the color was. I would kind of just water that down and use that as a wash. I don't know if that's definitely not the best technique to do, but I'm excited to learn how to do it with this. Because I've watched videos on it. I've watched a lot of you guys. Your paintings, your mini paintings are great. And I want to try that. I want to try all those techniques. Oh, okay. I'm going to remove my drow lady. And I stuck on here, for anyone who doesn't know, I know a lot of you do know this stuff, but it's just medicine bottle with a little bit of sticky stuff on it. I don't know what everyone calls it everywhere, but it's called sticky tack here. But you can use this, or you can use, Reaper said you can use double-sided tape, maybe like duct tape or something, but I have not tried that. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna stick this skeleton boy on here, like that. It's pretty light, so it's not like too much of a worry. Some of the other ones are heavier. I tried putting them on here and they kind of fell off, so I might have to find something else for that. I need to find the spot where I can like put things to actually get them in focus. Since this is my first stream, this is obviously like a test of everything. So if afterwards, if anyone is like, hey, try this or try this, I'm going to try all that stuff. So I appreciate the feedback. But yeah, I'm going to try. This is a good camera. It's the Logitech C922 or 20, whichever is the, I mean, it's a good camera, right? I don't know. I don't know anything about webcams. Despite being a photographer and using cameras for a living, I do not know anything about webcams. I'm the type that has always had a piece of tape over my webcam on my laptop, and I don't do video things because I don't know. I don't want anyone like hacking my webcam, watch me eat or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Skeleton. Base coat. Where does it say paint? Shake the paint bottle. Where? Okay. Mix 1 drop leather brown with 3 drops of water. I'm hoping that's what they're saying for the skeleton. It looks like it. Shake well. If you can hear that, it's a funny sound. Several seconds before dispensing paint. That's a really funny sound. Okay, so with my little plate here, I'm gonna put 1 drop. Oops, that's 1 drop, not 2. With 3 drops of water. I always put these little clear things that, whatever, I put them on the end so I don't lose them. It's not like a life hack or anything, but it's the thing I do. So now I gotta put, that's not very much, drops of water. 2, 3, 4, oh, 5, 6. I'm doing 6 because I accidentally put 2 drops of paint, obviously. Not because I can't count. I'm hoping this is the right color because I really don't see. I don't really know. The base coat is the first layer of paint applied to an area on the figure. You usually need 2 coats to obtain an opaque layer, but some colors might require more. Base coat paint should paint on smoothly. Maybe it was sand? Desert sand? That's kind of more of a skeleton color, I think. I feel like I'm just missing it, like I don't. Someone recently, I don't remember who it was, so I'm sorry, but they said that they got this kit and they confused the paint color for the skeleton with dragon blue. And so they posted it. I can't remember who it was, but they posted a picture of the skeleton and they had base coated it with, or I don't know, base coated or washed it with the blue, and I really liked that. It looked cool. Oh, so as far as manually adjusting the settings, I did that because I have 2 Logitech webcams. So they set up together and I put them, you know, like there's like the Logitech software where you can go in and do all of the settings that you would need, including the brightness, like, which is an issue now. And it was working, and then 10 minutes before my test stream, it just stopped. Like, now the Logitech software doesn't even read that the cameras are there anymore, and I've done this multiple times and it's worked. So I don't understand like why the cameras aren't being picked up, but it was so, my stream was about to start, so I was like, whatever, I'll just go with it, because they were still showing up in OBS, still showing the cameras, but it wasn't showing me that they were connected in the Logitech software, so I couldn't. So now, like, I couldn't adjust the direction, that's why this thing is showing. I couldn't adjust the brightness, that's why I'm like washed out, and I don't know, whatever. But yes, thank you for that. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to work on that. after this, but I mean I have another week or so until I do this again. So hopefully in that week I can figure all of this stuff out. This is still, I'm gonna call this stream 0, like session 0 of a, you know, online RPG. So there we go. This isn't stream 1, this is stream 0. It literally, I don't know if I'm just missing it, but I'm not seeing where it says what color to use. So I'm going to assume that it is desert sand, and I'm going to add that to my little palette instead of the leather brown. Oh, I have to shake it first, don't forget. Thank you. Oh, I can adjust them in OBS too? Oh, that would be awesome if you can tell me. I mean, I looked in the like the settings, audio video settings. Yeah, it's saying since I'm live right now that I can't change any settings. Whatever. Thank you guys for being patient with me, because I know I can't get anything like perfect today. Whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna put this time one drop of desert sand, and I think that looks a little bit more like a skeleton. So wash the brush off just to make sure, and do some paint drops. 2, 3. Yeah, that looks more like a skeleton color. I don't know if that even, it doesn't even show up. Oh, it's so frustrating. You can't even see what I'm doing. This is the desert sand that I believe is the correct color for a skeleton. So now, step 1 is base coat. And like I've already read a million times, I'm sure, you just cover, and I'm just gonna, like it says, cover the skeleton, not his bow. And these said, so normally you have to obviously prime miniatures. And so I asked on Twitter, like, what do you use to prime? And I got a lot of responses. And if any of you were here that responded, thank you so much. There was a lot of them, so I didn't like individually say thank you, but honestly thank you, because I really was curious as to what was the best option. So yeah, you're supposed to obviously prime these, but these said that they don't feel like they have anything on them. I don't think they have an actual primer on them, but they said that they're fine as long as you, I mean, you kind of like brush them with a toothbrush and soap, I think it said, and it said that should make it work, but this seems to be sticking fine. I do think I'm going to order, I almost did, but I do think I'm going to order the Master Series, just the white primer. A lot of people said that that's what they like to use, and I think I'm going to order that just for future projects, because I don't mind painting right onto it, but it just doesn't feel right. Luckily this paint sticks a lot better than some do, like the ones I used to use. They're just acrylic paints that you can kind of wash off with nothing. But these are supposed to dry pretty quickly, and they set pretty quickly. Man, this is a lot of paint for a tiny guy. Thank you. Whichever you cares. Nail polish, ball bearings. Oh, I think they have them in there. I swear there was one. Maybe it was just the one that I got. Yeah, so that's a great idea. I do need to get more of those. These ones don't have them. The ones that came in the kit don't have the ball bearings, but the one that I bought in the store, it does actually have one. That's a great idea. 96-cent flat black primer from Home Depot. Is that a spray? I need to get an airbrush, by the way. Yes. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try that. I like spray-on primers. I mean, it's not like a hassle or anything to paint it on, but when you can just spray it on, it's nice. Especially like what I'm doing now. I'm doing all of that with primer. That just seems like a lot of work. I'm gonna do some more because it doesn't feel like enough and it's kind of drying out on the plate. Okay. And I already forgot what I was gonna do with the brush on sealer. I can't remember. So if any of you know, I can't remember if he said to mix it with the paint or to put it on after I've painted it. So if anyone knows that with the brush on sealer stuff, if you can tell me, that would be cool. I mean, I'm sure I don't mix it in with the base coat, right? But maybe with a wash or something. Or maybe I just paint it on afterwards. I don't know. Oh, am I using... No, it said use this brush. That's right. Okay. I don't usually use square brushes with miniatures, so this is weird, but that's what it said. Gray primer. Sealer is after. Okay, thank you. Oh, and speaking of humidity, like you said, humidity is a big factor with rattle cans. I do live in an area, I'm from Texas, and it is humid all the time. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. If that's gonna be an issue for me, might have to do something else, I don't know. I haven't really used a lot of spray or rattle can or whatever things. I'm kind of already over this. Sorry, is that bad? I'm kind of already over the skeleton. Like I think I'm just anticipating and excited about the other ones. It would be really cool though to do an army, a skeleton army. People are always making armies of things, and I know that's more for like wargaming rather than D&D or whatever, but everyone makes all these armies of like goblins and skeletons. It's so cool. I want to spend a whole day just painting the exact same miniatures over and over and over and make an army. I'm gonna do it. Probably goblins because I really like them. And I don't have any goblins. Thank you. And also, oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, if anyone knows anywhere to get, like, I mean, I see people painting all these armies of miniatures all the time. And I'm like, how much does that cost? Like, I know these aren't expensive, obviously. These are like a couple dollars each. I think my WizKids ones are like $4-ish, $5 for a pack of 2. And that's really affordable. Except for I totaled up how much I spent in miniatures. Oh, wrong color. I totaled how much I spent in miniatures over the past like month or two, and I have so many, you know, they come in packs of 2 for the WizKids ones. I have so many that I spent like $60 on miniatures because I don't know. I didn't, you know, you buy like one and it's like, oh, $5, that's nothing. Then you buy like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it ends up being $60 that you spent just on miniatures. And I know that a lot of people have that same struggle because there's so many jokes about, oh, all my money goes in miniatures. I get that. I respect that. And if you see some of the miniatures that people paint out there, it is amazing. That's one of my favorite things. I follow probably like 20 accounts a day on Twitter. Like the amount of accounts I follow is going up and up and up and up. It's going to be like 60,000 by the end of the year. Because I just keep finding so many miniature painters that I just like, I want to look at your work. And I want my Twitter feed to be miniatures. I do the same thing with like digital painters. I love people who paint D&D characters or other RPG characters, and they're really good. So I follow so many accounts a day that I don't know, like I feel like I don't see a lot of the stuff I follow because I follow so many. I don't care. I don't care if that's like a thing, like, oh, you follow way too many people, that means you're not cool. I don't know. I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules. Just trying to look at miniatures. Just trying to play D&D. Look at miniatures, look at painting, and that's it. Talk to my friends. That's all. That's all I care about. Not really, but mainly. Okay, I'm fairly happy with this base coat. Normally, I actually paint my bases first. I don't know if anyone else does that. Not like the full, like, green or brown or gray or whatever, like, of the terrain. But I like to put a base coat on the base itself, just this part. So, like, when you paint the feet or whatever, it's like already painted around it. And you get the paint on the base as well, but then you go over it with your rock or grass or whatever, so it doesn't matter. But I like doing that. Don't know why. Board games. Armies cost between $100 and $500. Oh my goodness. I think I'm just gonna, wow, I don't know. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's probably about how much money I'll have spent by the end of the year on this hobby, but, you know, just don't think about it. I'm good with this base coat. So you kind of like gotta let it dry for a bit. I don't know if you should shake it or if you should just let it sit. I don't know. I'm gonna let it sit, and I'm gonna read a little bit more of this so I can catch up. Okay, so you're talking about the D&D board games. Which ones do you mean? Do they come with just blank miniatures, or are they painted? I wish I had a 3D printer. I have seen them at Best Buy, and they're like $300. I don't know if I'm crazy in imagining that. I think that I did. By the way, this is my Dallas Cowboys cup. I don't know if anyone else likes the Cowboys or whatever, but I feel like if you like the Cowboys, then you like them. And if you like any other team, you hate the Cowboys. But I'm from Texas, and it's like I was literally born into a Cowboys household. I don't know. It's just a cup. You need to wash out these brushes, actually. It's still wet. You have 2 3D printers? That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, yay, Cowboys fans. I'm more of like a casual fan. Oh my goodness, I'm allowing this comment because it's hilarious. But the mod, I don't know what my settings are for my mod. I don't remember. I did set them, but my mod tried to take out the 11 Charlie. It tried to take out your comment because of violent words. I'm allowing it. I think that's funny. I just cut bangs a few weeks ago, so I'm having to like get used to them, and they're very annoying. Okay, I'm good enough with this. This looks dry enough, I think. So there's their base coat. It says do it twice, but I actually put it on pretty thick this first time intentionally so I wouldn't have to do it twice. So I think that's okay. Next step. No, it's okay. It's funny. That was funny. It's funny to me what the mod tries to not allow. It's just funny to me. Oh, look, I just found it. The paint color that I was trying forever to find, I just found it. It was desert sand, so I did it right. We're good. Step 2 is wash. Yes. Yes, they do dry very fast, and I appreciate that. Not like oil paints. I tried oil painting, I think, one time. Maybe I did a couple paintings when I was like in high school, and it took days to dry, so I quit. Okay. A wash of darker color over the base coat brings out the fine sculpted details. To create a wash, mix 3 to 5 drops of water into a drop of paint. It would be really nice, I think, in this kit thing, if they would like say, hey, here's the paint you're using at the beginning. Because it says it at the end. Mountain stone with 4 drops of water to create a wash. Because I mean, I basically understand how to do a wash, and I think most of you all do too, but for anyone, like I said, I'm doing this as like a beginner painting stream. So if you don't know how to do a wash, I'll just go ahead and read it. So what you do is you put 1 drop of mountain stone with 4 drops of water, and then you're going to make sure it's like super thin, because this is obviously something that's going to wash over, fill all those little crevices, give it more depth to your paint and depth to your miniature, and like it makes things stand out, which honestly I think this is my favorite part of miniature painting, is using those techniques to like make it look more realistic. Because my first miniature, which I showed it earlier, but before that I had painted it another time, and it was really flat because I didn't know what washing was. That was just, I went to the game store after I moved here, and I picked one out because I'd never done one, and I just like got some basic paints, like I said, and I just painted it, and I didn't know any of this stuff. Test the consistency of the paint by painting a stripe on a piece of printed paper. I don't know. No. Dip most of your brush into the pool of wash and brush it over the miniature. The wash will flow off as you flow off of your brush and start to pool in the crevices of texture. That's what I said. Let's just do it. So for this one, it has me using, you will usually find it easier to apply with a 0 round brush, but the 2 flat brush is useful for large areas like bones of a skeleton archer. So I think I'll use my flat brush again, and I'll switch it if I need to. So I'll put these ones back. There it goes. What was it? Mountain stone. Mountain stone is like kind of a grayish color. Shake it to make sure it is ready to use. Oh, cool! What Kraken dice did you get? I want to get some. I really liked I don't remember what it was called, but I think it was like the Ethereal Ice Wolf or something. That was part of their, I guess, their Kickstarter, but I didn't do the Kickstarter. It was like a little intimidating because it was so many, you know? And I was like, I'm gonna end up spending way too much. And I already have so many dice. I don't need any more. But I really want the ethereal. It's like Arctic Wolf or Ice Wolf. Okay. Paint. Palette. 1 drop of mountain stone. Really. See, it's getting this like kind of bubbling out clear. I need to shake it more, I guess. Arctic Wolf. I think that's what it's called too. I agree. You can never have too many dice. I love them, and I don't even see. Here's the annoying thing that I'm sure somebody here can relate to, is that I have so many miniatures. I have so many dice, but I play online. It drives me crazy. I was playing with a group for a bit. It just, I don't know. I liked playing with them. It was just a long drive, and it was hard to like drive an hour every time, and then drive back an hour at like 10 or 11 p.m. It was fun, and I really like playing in person, but I also don't like going places. That's not true. I love going places, but it's just so much easier to do it online, and I get to wear these little elf ear headphones and play online, and it's really fun. That's actually, okay, so drop in a BB, because you're talking earlier about, or Zerg was talking about earlier about putting the little nail polish things in there, and I think we actually have some BBs, because I'm sure somewhere around here, my brother used to have, I mean, he doesn't live here anymore, but my brother used to have a BB gun, so I'm sure I can find something. That's a good idea. Yay, thank you! I love home games. Okay, 1 drop of mountain stone with 4 drops of water. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, okay. That's super watered down. But it's still kind of dark, so I guess we'll see how it looks. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's working good. It looks good. It's watered down enough. So if you are new to this and you haven't tried washing yet, you really want it to kind of go, like you're painting on the entire thing, but you want it to like sink down into the crevices, and that just kind of like gives it, like I said, depth to the actual miniature. It just makes it look a little bit more realistic. Like you put it on the entire thing, but it's going to, if you have it mixed right, the consistency, it's going to sink down into those little crevices, and then you'll be fine, because it won't sit on top of the actual painted part. And if it does, then you definitely want to add more water. That's a great idea to do when I do start DMing, because we were talking about that earlier. I do want to do that. I want to have the camera over the battle mat and have my players roll at home. I've always wanted to do that too. I know a lot of people don't do that, either because it's easier to just play on Roll20 and, roll virtual dice, or because, people might lie about their rolls, but I don't know. It's fun to me to play games and not cheat. Like, that's... It's more fun to play games if you're truthful. I don't know. So I think that would be really fun to play a game and have people roll at home. I would like that. I really want to do that. And I am working on. I'm participating in a. This is hard to paint and talk. I'm participating in a writer's workshop when we're writing an RPG one-shot. Ashley Warren is kind of like, she created it and she's overseeing it and she's awesome. And she also just got gilded up on DM's Guild, so congratulations to her. That's really cool. That's one of the first people I found, like, when I decided to branch out and get on Twitter, was Ashley, because I found her her one shot. So she has a couple of like campaigns on DM's Guild, but then she has one that's a solo RPG, which I really like to do. It's my favorite. I really like doing solo RPGs. And she had one called Executioner's Daughter, and that's how I found her and kind of got into a lot of the online stuff. But anyway, I'm working in a workshop. So I'm writing a one-shot, and it's supposed to be done. The goal is to have it done at the end of the month of July. But mine is taking so much research. I'm doing one based on the demon queen of fungi, Zugtmoy, who is the coolest. I'm obsessed. She's just covered in like fungi and mushrooms, and there's all these myconids and spore servants. So my story is, it's a one-shot, so it'll be a short story, but when I finish it, I want to like DM it online for a group of people and see how that goes, because that'll be my first time like DMing. I've DM'd before, but like basic games with people that I like knew really well, so they were cool with me, like, okay, I gotta look through my notes. But that was fun, and I really want to do it again. So I'm looking forward to that, hopefully finishing it. Okay, so the wash is done. Step 3 is, so I guess we need to like let it dry a little bit. So I'll let it sit again, dry some. Wash your brushes out. You gotta wash them out because you do not want that paint to sit in there. And another thing I learned is that, well, I mean, I've taken several painting classes. It does apply here though, is for your brushes, especially if you have the wooden brushes, or, I mean, any of them really, because this affects a lot more than just the actual handle, but especially wood. If you've noticed, if you leave them in water, they get really gross and cracky. But you don't want to put them in your water container past this like silver or metal part that holds in your bristles, because the water will get into this place right here and it'll ruin your bristles. So just so you know, the more you know. Oh, these ears kind of hurt, but they are how I hear things. So step 3 is to dry brush base color. The wash spread out detail, but also darkened the original base coat color. And yes, it does do that. So like, yes, it goes into the crevices, but in some places it will darken your paint. So, okay, so you want the number 2, which is the firmer ones. It's the one I've been using. It's the flat, like rectangular brush. They are easiest for dry brushing. You can use the tip or turn it on its side and use edge. Dry your brush off well. I need to dry that. And then dip the bristles into the paint. Wipe the brush in smooth strokes across a paper towel to remove most of the paint. Wipe both sides of the brush and also gently tap the end of the bristles against the paper towel once or twice. Keep wiping until barely any paint seems to be coming off the brush. Desert sand, which I have from earlier. I wonder if it's still wet. Okay, yeah. A lot of it was still wet, so I'm going to use that desert sand paint. but I added water to it, so that defeated the purpose. Ignore that. Another brown. Wait, that was wrong anyway. Where is... Really? Desert sand? That's the same one though. Okay, whatever. So... 1 drop, I'm assuming. It doesn't say, so I'm just going to go with 1 drop. It was still nice and shaken up. Need to get all that paint off then. And you want to dry your brush off. Oh, okay. So you can use that watered down paint, but you just have to make sure your brush is dry. Okay. Make sure it's super dry. I shouldn't pull on the bristles, but I did. Okay, so this is the part that I am not very good at, and I never really do dry brushing because I'm not very good at it. I've kind of ignored that step a little bit. Dry your brush off, paper towel. So you dip it in the paint. Wipe the brush in smooth strokes across. I'm going to do it on the plate first, and then on the paper towel. I feel like that took all of it off. Wipe the brush across the area you want to highlight. Okay, wipe it down on your paper towel. So I might make or edit my overlay to where I can make this screen bigger so you can see more detail maybe. And once I get my camera settings fixed out for next time, because I would really like it if this would show, and I know it's so busy in the background, but I want to show what the wash looks like. It'll get it for 1 second and then it's gone. Anyway, okay, I'll get it for next time. Use a gentle dusting motion. The aim is to apply the dry brush color to the protruding areas of the texture, but keep paint out of depressions and crevices. Every few minutes, rinse out your brush, dry it off well, and then, okay. Well, maybe I didn't do enough of the wash, because it doesn't look like it needs this, but I think that's right. I think I didn't do maybe enough wash because it looks fine already. Like it doesn't seem to need the dry brushing since mine is not super dark. I did a little bit and then I'll let that be enough. And then maybe on the bigger miniatures, this one I will say is kind of hard. It's small, but it's just like, it's so little that it's hard to do all of those things. And maybe that's why it's the starter one, because it doesn't take as much technique like the bigger ones do with the armor and weaponry. Those are a little bit more difficult. Oh man, this one is so small. I'm gonna use my thing. Maybe. Still can't really see it there, but whatever. This light is cool because it will like rake across the highlights and kind of, or the high places, and show you kind of where you need to highlight it. I might do another wash on it, to be honest, because it's kind of, after I did that dry brushing, it's like you can't even see the wash again anymore. I mean, it's kind of gone. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do a little bit more mountain stone. One drop. I'm gonna do it this time with the other brush, I think. Maybe that will help with the washing. You really want it to be more detailed. Like, so that's the whole point of it, is to make it my bone. Okay, a selective wash. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that since I'm using a smaller brush. See, that's what I thought. When doing bone, you should have started with a layer of brown. That's what I thought, and that's why I originally pulled out the leather brown, because I thought, you know, the first layer is going to be like a kind of darker to get more detail, but they said to go ahead with the desert sand, and that's that kind of white, grayish brown. But I agree with you. I think that it should have started with a brown underneath. That's what I would have done if I was just doing this on my own and didn't have instructions. So I'm going to try a little bit more of the washing, like they said to do with the smaller brush. This mini is so tiny. I'm telling you. I'm just trying to figure out why this is in the starter kit. Not that it's hard, it's just so small. Like, if I had started with this one, I would not have been happy. Maybe that's just me. Since this channel is for the purpose of showing me painting, and you can't even see me painting, that is frustrating. I'm gonna have to figure that out and get my cameras working better so that people can actually see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm just talking about it and you can't see it. Maybe this will work better. No. There's just so much in the background. I was having trouble focusing. So annoying. Anyway, I'm going to do a little bit more of the wash. They did suggest to use this brush and I kind of ignored them, and that was wrong, because you do need to do this a little bit more for the detail of it. It's so small. Hey there, skelly guy. Wow, I have to get really close. And I can't paint like this. Oh my goodness. I can try. So you're trying to paint these little, I can't do it, these little red in the crevices. I'm glad that you know what you're talking about. The skeleton is there to teach you basic dry brush techniques. The orc is for highlighting, and the knight is supposed to be for metallics. That makes so much sense. That honestly makes so much sense. And it probably says that somewhere in the booklet if I had read it better, which I thought I did. But yeah, that makes sense. I agree. This one I'm having a lot more fun with the washing than with the dry brushing though, because it's got so many little crevices for bones and weird stuff, and I really like washes. I think I like it better like this without the dry brushing, because I don't, when I do washes, and I understand that washes is literally like wash of paint over the whole thing and it naturally finds the recesses, but I've always done it like selectively to begin with. Like I've never just like washed on the wash and just let it do its thing. I kind of have always done it more particular and gone in intentionally into the crevices to begin with. So I don't know if this particular model for me is gonna benefit from a dry wash. I think I'm just gonna skip to highlighting. You don't need to be accurate. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need to be accurate with the wash. It's a messy step. That's what I need. It's complicated because I need to, like, go backwards instead of, like, I'm trying too hard to do it detailed. And, like you're saying, it needs to just put it on, wash it on or whatever, and then dry brush. I will practice that. That is what I need to practice. That is true. Because I think I'm, like, overdoing it. That's how I've always done the washes. I've never viewed them as like I'm gonna put the wash on and just let it sink into the recesses. I've always been like, okay, this needs a little bit of a shadowy area. So I do believe that obviously that is the technique to do. That's what everybody does. So I know you're right, and I need to practice that. So I'll try the dry brushing now that I have a little bit more darkness on it. It might work better that way. So I will use, I need a bit more, the desert sand again. Just one tiny drop. And I'm not gonna add water to it, I don't think. No, don't add water. Wash off the brush. Okay, actually I do. I was talking about this earlier. When I went to their factory a few weeks ago, I got this brush-on sealer, and the guy working there told me how to do it, and I couldn't remember exactly. It was just a brief discussion. He said to find you need to find your percentages based on like what you're trying to do or what you're working on. But the brush-on sealer, add water, but that's what we were talking about earlier, if you put it in with the paint or if you put it on afterwards. That's what I was trying to learn. Because I mean, you're saying 3 parts sealer, 3 parts water, 1 part paint, and that is the suggested Reaper wash. Oh, you mean just for the wash? Oh, with the paint, okay. Maybe I'll do that on the next one, since I've already started on this one, but thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that on the next one, because I want to try it out. I just don't know how to do it perfectly, and I don't want to mess it up. Okay, back to dry brushing. Now it looks better. Yeah, now that I redid the wash and made that a little bit more dramatic, now the dry brush makes a little bit more difference. Oh. Sealer is glossy. So if I put this brush on sealer onto the mini, it's going to end up being glossy, because I don't want that. Oh. So that's kind of what I have so far. It looks darker here than it does in person. That's weird. Come on. I showed it for a second, I guess. Anyway, that's what it looks like. So the next step, wash the brush off. Step 4, dry brush highlight color. Adding additional layer of dry brushing in a lighter color will enhance the figure even more. Use the color several steps lighter than your base coat color. If you don't have a bottle of an appropriate color, you can mix this by adding white to your base color. Add yellow to green or red. Okay. Coat your brush and wipe it off in the same way you did for step 3. Concentrate your application on upward-facing surfaces and edges. You do not want to cover all of the same area as you did in step 3. You just want to add the highlight to the tips of texture and edges of areas. Remember to use a gentle dusting motion. Okay. So I'm going to do that with the, what color paint? Dragon White. So you need a little bit of that. It's saying to use the dry brush, so I guess I'll use that. Dried it off. So now we're going to do a little bit of dry brush detail. I don't fully understand why this is a better brush. But okay. It would be so cool if it would focus. It'll do it for like 1 second and then it'll stop. That's what we have so far. A little bit dark on camera. And I'm going to go in and add the white highlights. Same way. And you just want to hit, like it says, the very top pieces, like the very tips of things that would naturally catch light. My skeleton has like a really messed up face. It's like a squished jaw. And he has a skull on his shoulder. That's funny. Okay. Hit the tips of the ribs, because those would catch light. It's okay. It's not perfect. Just highlighting all the bones. I like them. You're not being annoying at all. I genuinely want, this is what I was saying, I want people who know what they're doing to come here and just like give me tips. I mean, I'm doing this as a beginner. I still am a beginner painter, like obviously. And I wanted people to offer their help. That's kind of what I want the chat to be for. And all of you have been really cool and helpful, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, my miniature is a little messed up in a few places. It's like it just wasn't molded correctly, maybe. I mean, it is a gross skeleton guy, so it doesn't matter too much, but it is a little bit weird. That's what it looks like so far. Did I not do his feet? This foot needs a little bit more of the wash. I tried. I'm gonna be good with that. Oops. I just put my brush in too far. Past the middle piece after I just said that. Okay. So this one, like I normally put the clear things on the end, but it didn't fit. It was too small. So now it's gone. Oh, there it is. My other brushes, you can just put the little clear caps on the end. So I'm gonna let those sit for a second, let it dry. You know you want to focus. This is really bad, I'm so sorry. Thank you for watching still. Hey, there he is. So you can kind of see it. A little bit of the wash in there. You can see kind of showing like the depth of the bones, and then I put a little bit of the white paint on the outside to give it a little bit more depth. It's not the best, but I think for this one I'm gonna be good with it, and now we're gonna paint the rest of it. Yeah, the plastic they use is kind of soft and bendy. All of the ones I got were a little, like, wonky a bit. Like the swords. I don't know. They said you can just put them in hot water for like a few seconds and then bend it back. So I might try that before I paint the next one. This one wasn't too bad. Like the bow could be a little bit straighter, but it's not bad. Finishing the skeleton archer. Now you can use the techniques you've learned to finish painting your skeleton archer. You will need to take a little care not to paint over any of the bone you've already finished. Okay, so it says use the smaller 0 round brush to paint smaller areas such as the arrows and around the feet. The remaining areas on the example archer are painted at the same time in order to take these pictures. Okay. Okay, so for the base coat colors, the ground is Naga green. So we'll do that. I think I'll just use the flat brush. It covers a little bit more area, but when I get around the feet, I think I will do the smaller brush. Ice water. Okay. Oh, while it is still hot. I see. Probably not going to paint all of them tonight unless everyone just wants to hang out and watch me paint for another, I don't know how many hours. But I'll probably just do the skeleton tonight. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. Everyone has lives to live. You don't want to watch me for 6 hours. Oops, it's coming out the top. Ah! I hope that's good paint. Oh, yeah. That was a little, like I shook it, but it was a little, this might be old. That's what I was saying. Like, there's no telling how old this kit was since I got it off Amazon. Sound. And it's like, okay, pouring out the top. A little intense. I might get next time, like I'm using my all-purpose mat, but next time I might just put something down that's white, so maybe it'll focus better. Some water in the green paint. This paint is strange. It might be old, I don't know. It's like kind of transparent a little bit. Oh, okay, the bones material. Well, it was a little bit weird on the plate too. When it came out of the bottle, it had like a clearish yellowish substance in it. I mixed it up and it was fine, but at first it was, and I mean I shook it a bit. Maybe I didn't shake it enough. I don't know. Okay, always do, it's a good point. All acrylics should be transparent and you should always thin your paints to do multiple thin layers rather than thick layers. Oh, okay, I needed to be mixed more. Gotcha. Yeah, it was a separation, that's the word I was trying to find. I think you're right. Okay. You can get 4+ years out of a bottle. It is stored correctly. Thanks again to everyone who's watching and everyone who's giving me tips. It's exactly what I was hoping for. And like I said earlier, I'm counting this as stream 0. This is kind of my test stream, so if anyone has any constructive criticism, you can let me know. Because I know I need to work on my cameras and figure out how to use them properly. Because I thought I did, and then Logitech just decided 10 minutes before I did my test stream that they didn't exist anymore. And they didn't recognize the cameras, so I couldn't change any of the settings. Now I know that I can do it from OBS, which I tried to do earlier, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I will get that figured out so that it'll be better to see, easier to see this thing that I'm painting, which is the whole point. I'll let that dry a bit and work on something else. Quiver and chest straps are harvest brown. Yeah, I do need to put a little metal BB or something in these. Sounds so bad. The quiver next. That feels way too watered down. I don't know. It said 1 drop, 3 drops of water. But that feels like a wash. Doing harvest brown on the quiver and chest strap. I guess that's it. I did the 1 drop, it says 1 drop of paint, 3 drops of water, but that feels way too thin and it's not covering it. I know layers, definitely layers, but it wasn't even making a one layer. 1 to 2. That makes more sense. Oh, the problem with not priming bone is that when it bends in the future, your paint will crack. See, now I feel like I should have primed it. They said you don't need to prime it in the instruction manual, but I kind of think I needed to. I should have ordered that primer. Oh, this is so messy. I don't think this looks very good. So I was planning to do this for like 2 hours, and it's almost 7 here. I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's almost been 2 hours. I think I'm going to try and wrap this one up and then call it a stream. Once I get better at this and have more to talk about and more info, I'll probably do like a 3-hour stream. That's a long time. I don't know if anyone's even that interested. But for now, I think this works pretty well. Plus, I haven't eaten today. I kind of forgot to eat. So dumb. I really wish this showed up. I wish they had included primer like in the kit. That would have been really nice, because all they did, they said doesn't need to prime, just wash it with a toothbrush and some dish soap. That's all they said. And so I was like, if you say so. I almost ordered some primer, and now I wish I had. I might get some before I paint the next one. You used to stream Magic? That's cool. I'm assuming that's what you mean. How did you stream Magic? True. This is my first Bones miniature, so I think I'm going to use primer next time. Oh, that's really cool. So did you, was there someone else playing with you that also had like their cards out, or were you playing like digitally, or what do you mean? I really want to learn Magic, by the way. I used to go to a game store where I played D&D, and there are always people playing Magic. And it's really intimidating, because it's like, I don't know if I want to just jump into it. Like, D&D is super easy to jump into, because you can play it so many different ways, including by yourself. But Magic just seems like, I don't know. I really want to learn. A money sink? Oh, because like in-app purchases or whatever, like online purchases. Yeah, I really do want to play it. I've never played it at all, so maybe online would be good. because then I don't have to buy a bunch of cards. Or unless you do have to buy them online. I bet you do have to buy them online. That would make sense. I have one deck, and I bought it. There were only 2 available at the store. This wasn't at my at my gaming store. This was just like at a convenience store. They had 2 packs of Magic cards. One of them I think was just a big booster pack or like an expansion pack. That's right. And then one of them was like, this is a game ready pack. So a dual ready pack. So I was like, okay, I'll get this one. And I don't know anything about it, so it's probably a really crappy deck. But I don't know. Bow and arrow shafts are leather brown. I like this color. I've been wanting to use it. Arrow shafts. I already painted those with the quiver. Now I have to repaint those. Yeah, exactly. The art on the cards, the Magic cards are so, oh, they're so pretty. That's almost kind of what got me into is because I love, like I was talking about earlier, I love digital painting and graphic design and stuff. I don't do it, but I love it. I'm trying to learn it, but it's really hard. But yeah, the art on them is awesome. Yeah, it was the Jace pack. $2,300 in paint bottles? That's honestly awesome. Okay, 800 cards. I saw that they just put out their new, I guess it's their 2019, I forget what they call it. I don't know if it's deck or what. But I was watching a live stream and they were talking about it and it was really cool. I love the holographic ones. I used to really like Yu-Gi-Oh! I played it with my brother, but I never like got really into playing the game, but I collected the cards like crazy. I just liked all the art on them. Pokemon too, but I didn't do as much with that. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was dark. When I was a kid, that was cooler. You quit Magic to play D&D full time. I like that. Hey! Thanks for joining. I really like D&D. I've played a couple other RPGs, and I'm actually about to play in one that's like space opera themed, which will be really cool. That'll be streamed too, so I'm excited about that, but I really like D&D. I really like it because I really like the lore and all the like books that come with it. Oh man, I love them. Because I got into D&D through reading R.A. Salvatore. I mean, everyone knows what D&D is. I've known what it is since I was a kid, but I've never I had never actually played it. And then I read the Dark Elf trilogy, R.A. Salvatore, and I was like, I love the Drow. I love them. And I always wanted to play. Like I had been saying for years, like I want to play D&D. I want to do it, and I could never find a group, which sounds really stupid, but honestly, I didn't know what to do. I didn't use Twitter. I didn't use Twitter till like this year, I think in May. But I didn't know anything. I just knew that it was really awesome, and I always wanted to play. But I thought you like had to have a group. I didn't realize you could play online, which is stupid. Arrow feathers. Well, I need to do the arrow shaft. Used to make your own Pokemon cards. That's cool. Did you invent your own creatures? Or, I shouldn't say creatures, it sounds stupid. Did you invent your own Pokemon, or did you just make cards based on ones you liked? That is so cool. I really want to know what they were called, if you can remember them. These things are crazy. I should just like get an actual pair of elf ears instead of earbuds, but it's so much easier to wear them all together because I only wear these when I'm like online so I can hear things, or when I'm playing games. Oh, okay. Oh, WM. I was like, what is WM? I'm doing WM. I think I'm gonna do another layer of the Naga green on the ground. I'm honestly so excited that anyone's actually watching this. I really do plan to get better, I promise. Bird of paradise, like the flower or the actual bird of paradise? Because both are cool. I don't think I'm going to have this done in 5 minutes. That's really cool though, the making your own Pokemon. I was more of a wizard as a kid. I had a whole set of like potion making things, and I'm talking like when I was like 9. But this lasted up until now, obviously. I still have all my old wizard stuff, but I had this thing called a wizard kit. That's a really stupid name for it, but it was this box that I had gotten, and I just filled it up with all my like vials of things and like dead things and seeds and feathers and magical things. I still have it too. It's pretty cool. 2,000 minis? That's what I aspire to be. I want to try metal miniatures. What would you say is like the main difference? Because I actually have never painted a metal miniature. And obviously I went to the factory and saw them, how they made them, which is really cool, but I loved Flubber. Oh yeah, who is anyone else here going to ReaperCon? Because I'm planning to go. It will depend, like I know classes are filling up pretty fast right now, but I really want to go anyway. Metal minis use primer, okay. Cool. Yeah, the class list is already out, and there were like, I mean, it's 4 days, so there's so many classes. I was looking at it and trying to decide which ones to even pick. There's a lot of just like basic stuff, but then there's also like more advanced classes. And I don't mean advanced as in like you need to know everything to do it, but there's painting classes that are like mixing paint and making colors, and then there's like making models. So I'm really hoping to, I don't even know, I haven't checked recently because I haven't had time to even think about it, but I really want to take some of the more advanced classes and learn some stuff. Because what I really want to learn how to do is make miniatures. Eventually. Is anyone who is planning to go going to the, like, what do they call it, meet and greet? Because I know you have to get like the highest ticket, and it's like 175, and then you get all this like free swag, and then you get access to something else, and then you get access to all the classes, you can sign up for them, and then you get an invite to the meet and greet, dinner, lunch, I don't know what they call it, dinner I think. This year, I am pretty sure they said you can only sign up for 8 classes. I'm not positive, but I think when I was looking, it said they only allow you to sign up for 8. See, I don't feel bad that you're on the other coast because that's where all the cool stuff always is. That's why I'm so excited that ReaperCon is like this close to us. PAX Prime, that's coming up though, isn't it? Because I'm thinking about going to PAX Unplugged because that's in November. Oh, I see. If you get more than one badge, you get more of the classes. Okay. September? Yeah, that's in like 2 months. I'm not gonna get, I mean, I don't even think I could handle 8 classes. I mean, 2 a day for 4 days. Maybe, I don't know. I'm really just hoping to like meet people and play. I do want to take a couple classes. Yeah, true. I'm still sad that I lived 20 minutes away, basically, from the Reaper factory for like 5 years, and I didn't realize it. It's stupid. It is a really awesome kit. I'm excited about it. This is my first time like painting actual Reaper miniatures. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna do the introduction kit because that's a good place to start, and you get cool paints. I'm definitely gonna add more paints to it because there's so many spaces for it. Do you still live in Dallas? Yeah, the layer up kit, I think I'm gonna get that one after I do this one actually. Oh, cool. Addison. Have you ever been to the Look movie theater? Army painter. Yeah, we talked about that. And no, I did not. I didn't see that. I did not see that WizKids was coming out with a new paint kit. What paint do they use though? Where do they get it from? Because that's kind of the thing I liked about the Reaper, all of their paints, is that they do them all in their factory there. And I got to see it all, and it's really cool. So this really is all about like layers. Vallejo, that's right. Vallejo. I haven't tried Vallejo. Oh my goodness, that's funny. So it held your comment, the auto mod held your comment for sexual reasons, and it's your comment says I use scale 75 paints now, which is a bit different than Reaper. My mod tried to hold that because of sexual content. I don't know why. So that's what I have so far. Still needs a couple more layers of paint. Come on. And I have to do some silver accents on things. Yeah, the blue needs another coat. The arrow tips. It's not perfect. And it got, like, I'm assuming with the wash that it did actually darken a bit. So it did kind of get a gray tint to it. Well, you'll just have to believe me. Yeah, I got a gray tint to it, so I might even do more washes, but I don't know. Are you painting the same thing as me? Are you saying that you're painting the skeleton later? Ooh, vampires, cool. Wait, the WizKids vampires? Because I've been looking at those too. I don't need any new miniatures right now because I honestly have like 12 that are unpainted. But I want them. Yes, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. That you're painting the same kit. WizKids, I really like WizKids. I know a lot of people don't because of like, what is it, the scale of them and they're hard to paint and stuff, which is honestly true. But I just like how realistic they are. And I love Reaper too. Reaper is just less realistic to me. They're more miniature, like they look like a figurine. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I like WizKids because they actually look realistic to me. And that's what I started with, so maybe it's just bias. A little bit of blue. Skelly boy. like it. I mean, he looks a little gray, more gray than, well, honestly, their picture is kind of gray too. But I like it. I don't know if I want to add, like, I think I will put him on one of the bases I bought, but should I add the fake grass stuff I bought to this one? I don't know what you guys think. You're all about scale, yeah. That's what I was, yeah. That's what a lot of people say, and I get that. I've seen a lot of people who are really good at miniature painting say that they don't like the WizKids because the scaling is weird. And you know, like Reapers and other brands too, they make them to scale for the game and then like to scale to paint to make them like make better sense. And I get that. I don't know. I just like the way like they look like real people to me, as opposed to other miniature brands that look more like miniatures. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. Ooh, come on, guy. Here's one of my many unpainted. I really like this one. I don't even know if it's gonna show up, but it's either a human druid or an elf druid. I don't remember, but I like her. She's like commanding some vines or something. I might paint that one after the drow. Even though I play mainly online, I still like to make a miniature for my character. That's why I like Hero Forge too. I don't own any Hero Forge minis, but I like designing characters with their, you know, their builder, their character builder, and then maybe one of these days I'll order them. Redbox Games. Yeah, the 28mm true scale. Yeah, I know. I get it. You always cut the Reaper bases off. Oh, that's a smart idea. Because the orc guy, I don't love his base. Like, it kind of sucks. I think it would be way more interesting to put something else there. I don't know. I just don't like that. And it's huge. Like, it doesn't fit to scale for me, or in my opinion. I don't know. Okay, hold on, let me read this. Oh, you have a miniature sculptor. That's really cool. Redbox Games, okay. I will never say no to spare figures, so yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, hi, Michael Mordor. A dungeon type base. I agree. I don't understand why it's on a green grassy base. Like, I might just ignore that. Hello. I might ignore that and just put something else. Yeah, I might cut it off. That'd be cool. Because I do have all those other bases I bought. And I can make that more like stone. That will be really cool. And you said you are going to Reaper Con, I should say. I just want to meet everybody that I know on the internet who likes all the same things as I do. I think it's really cool, and that's why I like cons, and I've never been to one. Cool. My auto mod held your comment, Grumpy Turtle, paint it, snap a pic, post it as sexual. I'm really getting a kick out of this auto mod thing. I might have to edit my settings, but it's also kind of funny to see what it tries to block. Dragon Con looks really cool. Okay, I think this is dry enough. I might do the silver now. Oh, you're saying, okay, so the orc is made by Trey Manor, who does Redbox. That's really cool. I don't know these things. Is it? I wonder if it's in here. I didn't see that in. I'm sure it's somewhere credited. That's really cool, though. Michael, it would be really cool if you could go to ReaperCon, but I know that's a long way. They should, like, host you. Like, they should just pay to have you flown out and just host you at the factory for all that you do with Reaper. Yeah, I do want to go to Dragon Con. I don't think I can. Well, I can't this year, obviously, because it's this exact same weekend as ReaperCon. So I'll have to, like, do every other year, switch off. Blade steel. No, it's mountain stone. Blade steel. So since I don't know how old these paints are, like I was saying. Yeah, ReaperCon is not Labor Day. Or is it Labor Day? It's that 4-day weekend. I don't know if that's Labor Day or not. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I know it's really far. I think that they should host you. That would be really cool. They should have you as, like, a special guest and pay to fly you out to ReaperCon. So I hope this blade steel is good quality since it might be old. I don't know. Oh, it looks good. Okay. If it's resting. Good one. They do make paints that, like, oxidize. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't think you would use them on miniatures, but there's, like, a paint you can buy that... Oh, you mean that actually did rust? I mean, I'm assuming... Do they put real metal in these? I don't know anything. There's no ingredients on here. I don't know why I'm looking at it. The metal flex rusted? That's crazy. Was it old Vallejo or was it a new one? What? Is it Citadel or Citadel? But that's really cool. Free anything is cool, right? Well, if it's something you actually like. Citadel? That's what I thought. Okay, I've been saying it right. You know, like when you read a book and you've been saying something specific for a long time and then you, like, hear the audiobook and it's wrong. I've been saying Citadel. I'm glad I'm right. I love metallic paint. Me too. So that paint dries out really fast, even with water added to it. I don't know if that's a metallics thing or what. Maybe I didn't add enough water. Did I add water? I don't know. Oh, okay. So if you put water in them, oh, they'll separate? Yikes. Also, is it like a known thing that paints darken as they dry? Like, is that normal? Or did I do something wrong? Come on. So I got the metallics on. I don't think they're gonna need another layer. No, I don't think they're gonna need another layer. I honestly, okay, so when I started out with this one, like I said, I wasn't a fan, but I kind of like it now. And that's so cliche because like I painted it and it looks better, and obviously before it was just like white. I wish it had a string though, or a bowstring. I mean, that would be cool. I wish you could see his face. I'm gonna have to try and take photos of it with my macro lens because his face is so squished, it's weird. He looks funny. Okay, well, I think wash is the next. This one has the most instructions, and it might be because they say, hey, do this same thing again. Thanks for coming and watching and commenting and chatting and stuff. Have a good time at work. I'm wondering if I really need to do a wash on, like, the bow. I don't see why I would need to do a wash on the bow. It doesn't even really have anything. Like, there's, I mean, I'll do a little bit. It has basic recesses. It doesn't have a lot, though. Okay. I want to enter the painting competition, and I did say I was going to. Yeah, I'm going to. I think I'm gonna just, I'm gonna do, this one I got at the factory. I don't know if it's even gonna show it. It's a female Oni demon lady. I thought she was really cool, and her armor's really cool. That's what I'm thinking about doing for the competition, but I also wanted to stream my painting of that. And if I'm streaming weekly, that means I'll have to paint it next week, which is the 20th, I think. I think I could do it. I don't know. I just want to make sure I have enough time. Because I plan on entering, like, every month. And basically using that as, like, a way to practicing it better. Because I know, like, I'm a beginner still, so I'm not, like, going into this competition with, oh, I'm gonna win it. But it's more like I want to do this so that I can practice monthly and get better at it. And that's a great goal to have, like, to achieve, to, you know, to go for, attain, whatever I'm trying to say, is that painting competition. That's why I do think I want to do it. And hopefully I will be able to finish that one by the end of the month. Because are they due? I can't remember at this point. I did look on the Patreon website. Just want to make sure I can do it in time. Okay, so now that I used the metallic paint and the water, all of my water has glitter in it, and so now all of my paint has glitter in it. Everything that I'm using it. I think I'll try and enter. Yeah, I do want to for sure. I think I'll do the Oni. This is this is my first Reaper miniature to paint the skeleton, so I don't have any old ones, unfortunately. People here probably do. And everyone should enter. That would be really cool. But I think I'm going to use it as, like, I'm going to push myself to enter every month, and that'll be my, hey, practice, do this mini thing. Yeah, this grass base just doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. It's just kind of dull. It's probably just easy to make. I'm gonna be done with it. There's some extra steps of washing and dry brushing, but it feels somewhat excessive for this tiny little guy. Oh, black, not gray. That's why it looks weird. Pure black for the wash for the ground. This one might be dried out. Nope. It's not coming out. I think this one has, like, a dried out bit in the top of it. Paper clip. So the black is like plugged up a little bit and it won't go back. Whoops. Okay. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Yeah, I had a bunch of paper clips and I was like, do I want to bring them in here? Because they're on my desk. And this is not that. Yeah, everything has a metallic tint to it now. Because of the water. His smushed face is so funny. I love it. Okay, so do I need to seal it now? Let me see. It's gonna mess up my brush. While it's drying, more pure black to water ratio for the quiver and arrows. I normally use black as a wash, unless it's something light or like skin, then I use brown. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a wash on the bow. It has a little bit of like a wood grain texture, so it will get a little bit in there. Citadel washes. I want to try Citadel. Are you saying that that's mainly the paint you use? Did you say that earlier, Citadel? I'm gonna do another dry brush over this too, I think. It says to. And I wasn't going to because I don't think it needed it, but I think I will. Maybe more blue. Scale 75. See, I think you know what you're talking about. And that's why you know all these things. How long have you been painting miniatures? Oh, very cool. So did you collect unpainted ones or did you collect painted ones? I like that rule. I was playing with the group for a while and most of them, if not all of them, I think maybe one person had a painted miniature. So I was like, I'll paint them for you guys. So I started painting miniatures for all of them. So I think I'm done with washing the other details, and I'm going to do a dry brush. Okay, dry brush on the ground is just straight Naga green again. I thought it'd have something in it like yellow or something. See, I think I am gonna add a drop of yellow. It just says straight green, but I think it'll look better with if it's dry brushing. I think yellow would look good in it, and I do have the candlelight yellow. 2-to-1 green. Okay, I'll do a tiny little yellow. try. Trying to hit all of the upper parts and not darken the recesses. I still don't like this green base, but it's okay. And I'm not going to do harvest brown. Well, do a little bit more wash. It's a lot. Okay, so when you shake the bottles, always do it with the bottle upside down, like it mixes, okay, like this. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you. Cool. Now I'll use that one. Leather brown, just a tiny drop. Oh, no, don't get it wet. We're dry brushing. Don't get it wet. We're dry brushing. Two drops leather brown. Oh wait, arrow feathers, 2 drops dragon blue mixed with 1 drop of dragon white for the highlight. Oh, I already have blue. And this I'll use the 0 because it is very small. Adding a little bit of white to the blue and just slightly highlighting these feathers. Very tiny. Cool. Like that. Nice. Finishing details. So we have one more step. One more step. And that is the eye sockets. Mix 2 drops water with 1 drop pure black. I have a bunch of that on the plate. Using the tip of the 0 round brush, dot the paint and oh, this is the part I always hate. Slight, tiny, tiny little dot in the eye socket. did it. His other eye socket is a little smushed. Not bad. Okay. A lot easier than actual eyes, even though it's pretty similar to the technique used for painting eyes. But it's a little bit easier when it's a skeleton guy, and it's just a little empty socket. And then a slight dry brush, I guess. I'm not going to add more green. Okay, whatever. But I'm going to add more yellow this time for the grass. Brush is super dry. I'm gonna try a little bit of both. Wipe it off on a paper towel and dry brush. Slightly dry brush the grass. Come on. There, that's better. Ta-da! A little bit of highlight on the grass, which it probably won't show. I mean, you can kind of see it. %90 of the stream is me trying to get this camera to focus on details. I'm so sorry. Okay, so there's my finished skeleton that you can hardly see. There's the front. You can't really see the bow. Like, the bow looks, after the wash and dry brush, it looks so gray. I know they didn't say to do this, but I'm going to put some of this brown, what is it, harvest brown on the bow. And that's just going to be my choice. Dry brush it, kind of dry brush. I like the harvest brown. It's got like a reddish undertone to it, and I think that looks nicer. Always clean your brush. And then store it, if you can, with its little cover. Almost. Kinda. I'm gonna try the white again. It's not very white anymore. Move this guy. Move this guy. Don't be messy like that. And you could see him a little bit. A little bit better. This is my Skelly boy. Part of the Reaper's Miniatures Learn to Paint kit. And in this kit, I mean, well, in this kit obviously, but with this miniature, you really learn basic dry brushing and washing techniques. And I didn't like it at first, and I actually like it a lot now. And maybe one day you'll get to see it. and it will actually pick up. Anyway, I'll probably put a picture of it later on my Twitter. If you don't follow, it's __ ephemeroptera. I really like bugs. And that's my friend. I'm just being annoying at this point, probably. You're all really nice, thank you. Okay, so that's 3 hours in, and most of it was me rambling and trying to show this mini that I'm still not giving up on, apparently. But I'm going to try and take a picture of it. My macro lens on my actual camera might be best for it. I'll try. You know how macro lenses are. Sometimes they're not 100% in focus the whole image, but I will try. There's his arrow quiver and back. I like the back a lot better because it's got more like detail, color. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to try to do this weekly. I'm planning on Fridays, so same time if that works going forward. I really appreciate everyone who watched, and I really appreciate Brian, Grumpy Turtle, for helping me out and doing test streams and all of the behind the scenes stuff that I'm still learning and will continue to practice with and make this better, because I do want this to be more technically correct. And I love having you guys come in and give me advice and tips. That is so great, because I still have a lot to learn, and that's what this is showing me learning. So if anyone else out there is like, hey, I want to try to paint minis, what does it take to get started? Maybe they can watch this and see it and be inspired to start. So it's 5 minutes until 3 hour stream, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and say, here's my skelly boy that you probably still can't see, but thank you so much. And next week I'll either be doing another one from this kit, or I will be doing that Oni that I talked about, because I do want to do one like this and then put the base on it and put all the grass and everything. So anyway, any last words? Anyway, okay, goodbye. Thank you everyone, you're awesome, and I hope you can tune in next time. And if we're friends on Twitter, let me know that you were here, because I'm gonna have to go through all these comments to remember it. Anyway, thank you. Okay, bye.